This just breaking, the gates of hell are emerging with icicles, and they are coming out like crazy because it indeed has frozen over yet again. Guys, this episode is going to be one I'm going to need you to send out because Bill Maher just nuked the Democrats, the leftists, the far woke ideologues from orbit. And he did it in a way that was something that we have been resonating on for this channel for the last 4 years. This is one you need to send out and share with everybody because this is how you are going to win and save our country. All right, everything I'm going to show you is going to be linked in the description box below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on if you are down with that mission, putting the pedal of freedom all the way to the proverbial floor of this amazing Freedom F-150. Let's get it. No idea where that analogy came from. Let's just keep rolling with it, though. All right, listen. Bill Maher has famously been bashing the left for the last 2 years. The far left woke insanity. Now, what he's really describing is something that could be considered a purity test. The far left woke purity test. Oh yeah, well, you are all for LGBTQ? Well, I'm for LGBTQ plus IEA, whatever letter you want to throw in there. Are those women I see? I don't know. Have they told you what they are? Do they identify what they are? Is that a baby? What is it? What did it decide it was going to be? All those things. The far woke agenda, right? Now, he's been railing on that for a while, but what he just did in this monologue, guys, is worthy of note. Let's get into it. I'm going to play it. 4-minute clip. We're going to parse it up. We're going to chop it up. Let's go.
But as it is so late in the game, let's just go right to the granddaddy of bargains now. The left will seriously quash all their loony woke shit, and the right will stop the slide into autocracy. That's really the only card left to play. Because the basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil...
All right, I'll get into the thing that he's about to go into, the segment he's going to, but this is the point. Guys, they haven't been willing to curtail the far left crazy. You know what's been able to happen on the right? We've curtailed and pushed back when things get too uncomfortable. You want a really great example coming from the 2A space that happened 3 weeks ago? There was this big Tran ban that was floated around the 2A space from the White House, from the acolytes around that. Hey, we should just ban all transistor radios from having the Second Amendment rights because they're clearly mentally deficient. That was the pitch. Do you know how many leading 2A channel voices came out, myself included, within 3 hours of that saying that is absolutely not acceptable and will not happen because it's a slippery slope right to perdition? We passed our tests. Now, are we perfect? No, we are not perfect. I would never even dream to say we're perfect. In fact, the second that you stop improving to get better is the second that you stop being better. But honestly, I haven't seen the move from the left to the center the same way the right will hold that line. Now, there's some things they'll wishy-wash on, but I have not seen equal distribution on the left and the right in full transparency. Because even in our world, in the 2A space, which is a large contingent of my audience, in fact, mostly my audience, you're talking about someone who blames you for every single thing that goes wrong in this nation and wants to take your rights and everyone else's rights because of the actions of another criminal. And if you disagree, you've got blood on your hands and it's your fault because saying nothing is complicity. Silence is violence. These things sound familiar? That's the whole point. They marginalize you. They attack you. They go after you. That's what he's saying stop doing because the purity tests on either side are going to kill that side. Let's continue. This is fire. This is an amazing segment.
deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense. And it's obvious that it does. And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying.
All right, now this is a very important point. He's going to go through all these woke talking points, and he's going to demolish them. And you've got to watch this whole video. But what he just said is the pivotal capital point here. We can't redesign society even at the expense of complete rationality just because it wants to make you feel good and make you feel like you did something. Right? We aren't going to go along with it. You're not going to take our Second Amendment rights. You're not going to take our First Amendment rights. You're not going to tell us we can't have jobs if you don't jab us with something. The Fauci ouchie didn't go over too well. Mark that one in the we were right category. But the whole point here, and this is what I'm trying to land in this video, and let me know if I do, you have to see what they have pushed to get to that line that Bill Maher is identifying. We have been pushed to the point where you will not go further. And his concern is on the right that we're willing to embrace autocracy, that's a left talking point, to get this to stop. Watch. This is incredibly important.
They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. Transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing it. Asylum now covers any reason for anyone to come to America, not doing it. Homelessness is a lifestyle. Natural immunity doesn't count anymore. Whiteness is toxic. Penises in women's prisons. Welcoming the Intifada. We're not doing it. And so, folks...
You understand that he just hit all the main purity litmus test points on the left. Trans, Israel, voter ID was in the earlier portion. I can't remember all the segments. Oh, assignment at birth. Transing children to say that you can't even have parental involvement. All these things are insane. That's what he's identifying. The left has pushed too far. They are meeting complete and total resistance, and now they are getting pushed backwards. That's what they're identifying. The Democrats are losing at record rates. They know it. It's not like Bill Maher all of a sudden is a conservative. He is identifying that the only way that the Democrat Party still exists is if they stop the crazy. And he's not the only one. I got more stuff coming. But let him finish here.
If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath, insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add.
And this is the last thing before he goes into the Republican part a little bit, because I'm going to play it. In all fairness, I'm going to be fair on this channel. I always strive to be. Guys, he just hit the whole point, and I think this is the part that if you guys are hanging around, this is the Easter egg right here. We are done being treated poorly, being treated like idiots, being treated like deplorables, being called racist, being called sexist, being called any ist or phobe you can imagine, all to emotionally bully you into giving up something that you hold dear, your views on your political beliefs, your constitutional rights. We're not doing it. And we've pushed back to the point where it's like, now we're just going to not engage. Like, we're just going to win. That's what's happening right now. Now, in an issue of fairness, because I am not going to manipulate you guys, I'm going to play the Republican part for the next minute. Watch this.
You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit. I mean, you can, but it doesn't make it true because you're not Harry Potter. Smug self-righteousness in the defense of some of the dumbest ideas to ever come down the pike is not a formula that's really working for you. Because here's one thing I can promise every liberal in this country. The Democrats can win every election from now until forever. And the people who now hold the reins of power will not give a shit and will not give it back if they think you're still nutty. Which brings me to my friends on the right, to whom I say, becoming an authoritarian police state, that's not going to work for you either. Do you know what a drag it is to actually have to run a police state because half the population is seething and plotting against you, while all the time you know, deep down, that they're right about America becoming something that it never was and never should be? You keep saying the left is more approving of political violence. Well, who do you think that's going to be aimed at? I know it feels exhilarating to make the liberals cry their liberal tears after they made you feel disrespected and looked down on and flown over and called the nutty ones. But come on, I thought you were the tough guys. Get over it.
All right, and here's the last part of this, and this is a little bit longer video, but I felt like it was important to say this part. It's not about our feelings. That's not it. This is the thing that the liberals still don't understand. Bill Maher still doesn't understand this point. And this is the motivating why factor here. The reason that we react in the way that we react, and the reason that we are buckling down the way that we're buckling down, and the reason we're drawing the lines in the sand, and the reason that we are officially taking our country back politically, is for our children. It doesn't have anything to do with our little feelings. Because I promise you, we are just as tough as we need to be. But it doesn't mean that that's our motivating factor. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm a personality on the internet. I'm going to get called things. I don't care. But the motivating factor that I have is for the next generation. It's not for my generation. I believe it was Thomas Paine who said, "Let there be trouble in my day so that my children don't have any." Something to that effect. It's the one piece they're missing, but he's damn close. Guys, let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Later.